So we're going to go into the new shape of a triangular prism. So right now I need you to cut around all the sections. Okay, let's do that. Once you cut it, I'm going to fold along each of the dark lines, including the little tabs. So we fold all in one direction. Whatever direction you do, I'm going to go up so the dark lines stay outside. Richard, we're done. Including these little tabs we fold. 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 Kids always ignore the triangle, so make sure you are folding the triangle. Just like this. And it does create a triangular prism. The reason it's called a triangular prism is because it involves triangles, not just rectangles, but triangles as well. So when you fold it up, it should look like this. But remember, we're going to glue it flat at the end of the day. Alright, so your triangular prism, again, we're going to glue it flat. It's fine. I don't want you to try to do it for your partner. I need the partner to do it. I need them to build skills on folding paper. Your skill that is needed is folding paper. Okay? That's it. Alright. So, I need your notebooks. Need your notebooks? Notebooks? Okay, let's talk game more folding. Quickly, quickly, quickly. All right, let's write this down. This is called so today's date is 4/12/23. We are doing a triangular prism. Look how we're still kind of going to fall behind, so we need to work a little bit faster. Triangular prism. How many sides does this triangular prism have?
A lot. 6.
No. Count them, please.
5. Wait, actually, 5.
So, 5 sides. What shapes are these 5 sides?
Rectangle.
How many?
3 rectangles, 2 triangles.
Very good. So there's a total of 5 sides. It's different than the ones we did on Monday and Tuesday. This is 3 rectangles. 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. So therefore, the math that we're going to be using to find the surface area is going to be a little bit different than Monday and Tuesday because we're dealing with triangles. The reason you had triangles on your do now was because we needed them to do surface area. Area of a triangle, what you did on the do now, is not 7th grade math. The reason we need to practice, because it's like 5th grade math, is because I need it here. This is your 7th grade math. Alright? Alright, so, you know how on Monday we labeled it like top, bottom, front, back, left, right?
Yeah.
On the triangular prism, we're going to do something similar, but I need you to realize that sometimes it changes. Why? Because what if my triangular prism was standing up and down, right? Tall like a pyramid. Then this would be the top, right? And then the bottom. But what if it's like a tent, like Daniel said? A tent would be like this if I'm going camping. Wouldn't my tent be like this? So now this is like the front side. My triangle would be the front side. Have you guys ever stayed in a tent or seen a tent? Right? You go through the triangle, right? Usually the triangle is where you enter into the tent. There's like a zipper. So it just depends, right? So sometimes a triangle is like a pyramid, and then sometimes your triangular prism is like a tent. And so what we call the front side, the left side, changes depending on how it's being placed. Just keep that in the back of your mind. All right, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna call this the left triangle. Remember, we're gonna glue it in flat. So, this is called the right triangle. Sometimes it's gonna be called the front triangle. Sometimes it's gonna be called the right triangle. Sometimes it's gonna be called the top triangle. It all just depends on how it's placed. So I should see you having a flat triangular prism. That lets me know that you're on task because it's flat, because we're actually writing it down. I'm going to call this the front, the bottom, and the back. Front, bottom, back, left, and right. Why am I calling it this? Well, if I fold it up again, I'll show you in a second. I'll go back to it. So this is why I called it the front. So if it's like this would be the front of my triangle. This is my back of my triangle, and then the bottom is there. So I'm gonna glue it in like this, the bottom, and then this is on the right side, and then this is on the left side. That's why I named it like that. Will it change in a second? Yeah. The worksheet, the packet, has them all different ways. Later. We're going to write a lot of it. A lot of stuff before we glue. We're going to fill up your triangular prism before we glue. Okay, now let's write down the numbers. We're going to make this 6, 4, 3, and 4. So write those numbers down. 6, 4, 3, 4. In some parts, the math is easier on this. In some parts, it's a little bit tricky compared to the ones we did Monday and Tuesday. Okay. How do you find the area of a triangle? Don't glue it, because we got a lot of stuff to write. Don't glue it yet. There's a lot of stuff. Look, yours has to look like mine before we glue it. You see all this writing we're going to do? So don't glue it in until we have all this writing. How do I find the area of a triangle? Do you remember the first triangle on your do now, number 1?
Yeah.
What did it have? It was base times height. Where was the height located?
In the middle, like the highest part of the triangle.
Yeah, in the middle. And did you remember the dotted lines on the do now? Let me show you. It has to be straight. So this was your do now today. Number 1. Do you guys see that?
Yep.
The 7 was inside. Why don't I use the lines on the side for my triangle?
Because they're not straight.
They're not straight. If you were do they ever measure how tall you are in PE?
No.
Do they measure how tall you are at the doctors?
Yeah.
And what's the first thing they tell you to do?
Stand straight.
Stand up straight. Daniel, what are you doing? Because Caesar's just staring at you. Yeah. So I'm curious what you're doing, because he's just 100% invested in whatever you're doing. Not me. You. Yeah. So we don't use these lines. We need a straight line. There's something missing in this picture. Does anybody know what's missing in this picture? A little 90-degree symbol right there. A little 90-degree symbol. Okay. So, in this triangle, if I fold it up again, am I going to use the 4s for the height? No. Why am I not going to use the 4s? Because they're not straight. They're not standing up straight. So I need to add, which you do, dotted lines down the middle of my triangle. Dotted lines up and down. And then I'm going to add my 90-degree angle right there. We're going to call this dotted line 2. 2. So the height of my triangle will be 2. The height of my triangle will be 2. You're adding this information. This is the important information that we need to add. Because if we don't know what the height is of the triangle, we can't do the math. We cannot do the math. All right, are we okay? All right, so here's this. How do I find the area of the front rectangle?
Base times height.
Area is equal to base times height. Okay, fine. So what is my base of my front rectangle? 6 times, what's my height? 4. So let's write this in. Do you think I'm writing this on my paper for me? Nope. I am doing it for you. So you have to do it. What's 6 times 4? So area is equal to 24. My apologies, I forgot to write centimeters. So centimeters squared. So all I have to do is take these two numbers, right? Because it's just a rectangle. It's just the length times the width, the base times the height, however you want to do it. So we're gonna keep tally over here. The front is equal to 24 centimeters squared. Okay, make sense? All right, let's do the bottom. Let's do the bottom. What is the area of the bottom section? What two numbers do I multiply? Yeah. So the bottom, it would be this number. What is this number? 6. Or this number. Is it still 6? Yeah. Times, what is this measurement? 3. So we write that down. We show our work, so when you're doing it later, you're like, oh, that's right. You have to take this number and that number. Now I remember when I'm doing this for my homework. What's 6 times 3? 18. So your area is equal to 18. So my bottom is 18 centimeters squared. Because it's this times this. Make sense? This is what we did Monday and Tuesday. This is still Monday, Tuesday. Okay, backside. The back. What two numbers do I multiply for the back?
6 and 4.
Yep. So this is still 6 because it's the same thing as this number. This is 6, this is 6. So my area is 6 times, what is this number? 4. Now this time it repeats. Sometimes it doesn't repeat. Sometimes all of your rectangles have different areas. So don't assume that your front and back are equal. If you have a scalene triangle, all of your answers are going to be different. All of your answers are going to be different if it's scalene. So 24 centimeters squared. All right. So this is nothing new. This is what we have been doing for Monday and Tuesday. All right. Now let's do the new part. What's the new part? The triangles. So we're going to do the right triangle. That's the new part. The right triangle is the new part. The right triangle is the new part. The right triangle is the new part. All right. How do I find the area of a triangle again?
Base times height divided by 2.
Base times height divided by 2. There's no way I can fit this in my triangle. I gotta show my work in my notebook. Okay, what's the base of my triangle? 3. The base is like your feet. So where is the bottom of the triangle? Well, this is the bottom of my figure. So if I go like this and I put the tent up, right? This is my bottom. What number is at the base, at the bottom? Your feet. 3. This is the height of your body. This is your height. This. The base is the bottom. So it would be 3 times, what's my height of my triangle? What did we say the height was? What is the height of my triangle? What is the height of my triangle? Just look at the triangle part. Yes. Does the 6 have anything to do with the triangle? No. The 6 is part of just the rectangle. So right here, 3 times 2. The 2 is my height. The 6 has nothing to do with my triangle. Divided by 2. What's 3 times 2? 6 divided by 2? 3. So it is equal to 3 centimeters squared. What about the left triangle? Well, this does repeat. The triangles will be the same. So if one triangle is 3, then the other triangle is also the same. So 3 centimeters. Okay, this is all the work. Now to find our final answer, we have to add. So surface area equals, if you want to use a calculator, you may. What are we adding? We're adding 24, 18, 24, 3, and 3. You can use a calculator or you can just do it in your head, but I need you to not worry about your manicure and do the work. Do the math. 24, 24, 18, 3, and 3. Add them up. Use a calculator. What'd you get? 72 what? Very good. 72 centimeters squared. 72 centimeters. Yeah, it is. It's just like yesterday, it's just a lot of work, right? A lot of things to keep track of. This is 100% not, I'm going to do this in my head. I'm going to totally keep every number in my brain. No, this is, I got to do some of it on paper. All right, I'm just going to put glue on the bottom section, like where it says bottom, just on that rectangle. Your triangular prism should be full of numbers, just like so. We write down the numbers before we glue, so sometimes if it's too much glue, it rips your paper when you start writing on it. This, you might fold it in if you don't have a lot of room. Ashley, what are you doing? All right, so let's glue it in.